they can look to play with, but this is a game where I really feel like Polaris have to play off the back of just experience and really not mis-execute. I think it's a game where they have to run over TNC.
Yeah, and you talked about it in the beginning of the draft, right? That Polaris had kind of set up super strong lanes, but that response from TNC going Timber Weaver, it feels like it kind of threw a huge wrench into what Polaris wanted to do there. So really cool adjustment from them in the draft.
It's the important thing.
The Timber mid. So how does this Timber versus Void Spirit matchup go? Oh, AU is gonna get a cheeky D ward.
They both do at least.
They both 100 gold to both.
A little bit of experience. Love to see it. Yeah, how does this mid matchup go? It should slightly be Krish favored. Should slightly be Timber favored. I don't think Void Spirit's not going to get his farm though. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I just feel like, do they ever have the? I don't think Lelouch can ever kill the Timber, and it's going to take a lot for Polaris to effectively deal with Krish this game, especially if he gets off to a decent start. You're going to have a very high level Timber, and he's going to get those super early defensive items that you are always worried about.
And it's not like they have the greatest Spirit Vessel builder as well on Polaris, so you're not going to be worried about that from the Timbersaw. I really think his biggest issue is going to be the Marcy, honestly. Like, this hero can do a ridiculous amount of damage, so I think a lot of it's going to come down to Force and how this lane plays out.
Yeah, and I am very curious to see how Force winds up doing, specifically with this Rubik, right? Polaris in the draft, they 18 picked the Rubik. So they said, all right, Xavius, you're going to carry us on Rubik this game. You want it that bad. The problem for me with Rubik is just the hero just does not feel like a lane. Every lane with him feels like a lost lane from the get-go. So we'll have to see how they manage to do up here.
I wonder how it could shape up though, because they do kind of have like two stuns that is going to be able to reposition the Weaver and Sakuchi, so maybe you won't get enough distance away, and in the early levels that could be a bit of an issue for Aster with such a long cooldown. Maybe that could be something they look to play with.
Problem is you're going to have this Warlock sustain though, right? So any of this chip damage from the Marcy Rubik bot lane, they just get the kill. With the Plasma Field as well, so he did not go for the static link. Level 1 Plasma Field. I'd say this is the more common selection for skills. But huge for Natsumi, right? Level 2 already, that's going to be boots for him? Nope, just a Wraith Band, I guess, for now. But great start for this Razor.
They're going to try and get a pretty aggressive onto Bok. AU gets the enchant. They're going to get another kill.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, AU.
Okay.
You just kind of yoinked that one.
No, come on, man. He's he needs some gold.
Sorry, kill secure. Sorry, kill secure.
Yes.
I misspoke.
How dare you speak to AU like that? This guy is... Look at what he's been able to do for them already. He gets 2 kills for Polaris down bottom. It's like, it's only fair that I yoink one.
Yeah, and these early levels are especially brutal, I think, for this Kato Tiny, because I mean, they just don't really have enough damage to kill the Razor or the Enchantress, nor can they really deal with the creeps that come out from the Enchantress. Nearly level 3 on AU already.
The nice thing for them is they did block up the hard camp. So the medium camp by the outpost, so at least AU won't be playing with some creeps early on, top lane. Aster is going to go down, Force and Xavius in conjunction together, Polaris. That's a pretty good start for them in their lanes.
I did not think they would be able to kill the Weaver in this lane, but I'm not sure what Mavis used to Shadow Word. I feel like if you're just buffing up your Weaver with that heal, Aster will never die, but a big kill for Polaris nonetheless.
We see.
I feel like that's just not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I think has Mavis got a sentry? He does. So as long as they can get rid of this sentry, then his time should be a little bit easier. They've kind of shoved the lane out, which might be an issue. We take a look how mid lane's going at the moment, though, with Lelouch up against Krish. We were kind of unsure of how this lane should shape up, but it does look like both the position 2s are finding their farm.
Yeah, the problem's really going to be how well does Lelouch defend his tower from the Cardi waves, right? Well, that is inevitably going to come here. Timber will be level 5, if not level 6 when that time comes.
I think they might be okay. Lelouch should be able to shove the lane with... He'll probably need an ulti along with Resonant Pulse. But I think you're going to have supports that can easily rotate, and I also think you're going to be in a position where you have to bring the Marcy with that first unleash, and they might be able to get a kill onto Christian. I guess the one thing about mid lane Timber is that you don't have like as many trees to be able to chain to, but with that being said, Radiant, they also don't have a lot of stuns to kind of lock Christian while Marcy's doing the damage.
That would require Timbersaw having skilled the Timber chain,
yes,
of course, to be able to use it. He has currently not skilled it. And we are already starting to see the pressure that the Timbersaw puts on.
Oh.
And I'm just a little concerned for this first Cardi wave, the level 6 as well. Krish is gonna hit level 6 first as well.
Does look like Xavier's maybe considering to rotate early on, just to try and protect for the Cardi wave that you are worried about.
And he's gonna glyph this, I think. Okay, yeah, there's the glyph.
Lelouch got some 1 charges and Fairy Fire. Maybe looking to bait the Void Spirit at the moment. They're going to be cautious how long until Xavier's pokes out. Finally, he's going to reveal his position, but Krish does not give a damn, and
oh, he got him.
He's actually going to charge back in and gets the kill. So Lelouch biting off a little bit more than he can chew.
It was such great timing there from Krish. He gets 6 first, glyphs the wave. When the Void Spirit tries to kill it, prevents him from getting that level 6. And now I think they're maybe just... They're not going to get the tower, but it is a lot of space for TNC around the map.
It might get Xavier's at least. Yoink, thank you, Carlo. At least he's a support that doesn't mind getting a little bit of gold.
It's a 3v3 in the mid lane now, as everybody's come over.
Why not? At least we're not back at the days with the dual mid. Jesus Christ, that was not fun.
Were you, I was a big fan of, you picked Bane and you would just sit mid and enfeeble the other mid.
Oh,
Back
God.
when enfeeble, you don't seem to have appreciated that time.
Oh, what do you mean you're a big fan of it? It's like, how are you a fan of this? I don't get.
It's a bit of a sadistic enjoyment, you know. You get pleasure out of making the other player suffer, right?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine you're someone like that. It's just you're kind of giving those vibes right now, and I don't know.
Are you saying that I have a twisted personality? Is that what you're getting at?
Looking to play dual lane mids.
Weaver.
No one wants a dual lane mid. Mavis, he might go down as well. Force not playing with the ultimate for the moment. It's gonna have to turn to deal with the bugs. They're going to jump. Asta is out to the right. In fact, they're going to go for the Warlock instead. A much easier kill instead of trying to chase down the Weaver.
I was just wondering. Oh, they're going to hit 6 here. They need to kill 1 creep.
Get the creep! Kill the creep!
1 creep for the unleash.
Oh, they got telekinesis shortly. Asta might be in trouble, actually. He'll get the... Oh, no way. No. Oh, no. He got the level 6 off the kill. Asta.
I think they literally needed 1 creep on Force to get that unleash, but instead, Asta gets the kill and then the level 6 off of it.
Bottom lane.
I was just wondering
Natsumi?
on what build
He's
Force
pretty
would go.
goddamn deep here. See if it's going to be enough. Strength treads. One more right click. Wait, Natsumi's running in? Natsumi! Oh no, probably just expecting the Timber to rat from mid and try and get the kill, but now they could chase down AU. Blast is going to be off the mark, and it looks like the Enchantress will step out of harm's way.
Mid lane Krish is just relentlessly harassing Lelouch here with that arcane rune, and mid tower is not long for this world. It's gonna die here pretty soon, but
That's for all the times you...
Or is that you?
Solo kill?
Yes, it was in the jungle.
That was just a solo kill. So TNC, their lanes, we talked about it, that we like their lane setup in the draft. They're looking really good right now out of this out of these lanes. Nearly a 2k gold lead already.
They've also got a pretty farmed position for Tiny. Carlo's actually gone phase boots, which is a bit interesting. Yeah.
He goes I feel like most of the time you want to go like either Soul Ring Tranks or just Arcane Boots, because he does not have a lot of mana regen.
Bottom lane. Carlo, if he can get the combo. Lelouch actually going to jump on a Carlo instead. The reinforcements are starting to arrive. Force with the unleash, and look at the damage. There we go. That's what they were requiring to deal with Krish. And now they can catch up to Carlo, as well as every single member from Polaris is forced to show up down bottom.
And Chris just thought he was maybe a little bit tankier than he actually was. But great play from Polaris. They bring the whole squad down there to kill Timbersaw.
Tower is under attack.
Really big. That's the big tempo maker for TNC right now, is that Timbersaw.
To the narrow maze with you.
And they've shown they have the capability to kill him. This is with the hood as well, so his next really big spike, I guess, to be able to keep him alive is Sunj, and then Sunj and Kyra, of course, afterwards as well. And I think, yeah, but until then, they will definitely be able to get the kill if Unleash is available.
Yeah, and you said it, that Marcy, the rotation from Force, on top of the damage from the Razor, just too much magic damage. And they actually get the bottom tier 1 for it, so some nice influx of gold to all of Polaris.
A golden thread.
It's also Lelouch has been able to shove out top as well. So the Void Spirit didn't have a horrible lane, but it's just nice for him to get a little bit of free farm and put some pressure onto the tower. I wouldn't mind seeing them bring some extra heroes, but I guess the issue is hold that thought. AU, can they get the avalanche? No, just a bit too far away from Carlo. I do kind of feel like the issue for Polaris at the moment is just because they TP'd so many heroes down bottom, they can't really make a play with the scrolls being on cooldown.
Yeah, but they do make the most of it, right? They get that tier 1 bottom, and now they kind of just spread the map out. I really like what Lelouch is doing up here. He's just kind of cutting this top wave, being a nuisance to Asta, making him defend his tower defensively. It's not what Weaver wants to be doing, but they're going to smoke on the bottom.
I don't know.
This just seems forced. Though look at the Bach. We said the priority on the core coddle this game, right? He has the full vessel flying out.
It's a big item. It's a very big item. BKBs aren't going to come out too early. There's a lot of burst potential here. And Razor, of course, Natsumi's off the back of those kills down bottom has had a pretty good time, 3, 1, and 2. So he's already got one component and also enough gold for the second component.
Yeah, it felt like TNC had the potential to run away with the game out of their lanes, but Polaris has done a great job of just stabilizing the game state now, defending bottom, taking the top tower. They're even pressuring mid. The benefit of having the Enchantress, you can just poke away at that mid tier 1.
They are still playing with force down bottom. They're kind of positioning like they're going to look to mount a defense. They will not be able to scout out force, though. Dude, look at Xavius go. Really nicely done from the Rubik. This Sakuchi is an incredible ability to steal.
And you are going to start seeing why he wanted Rubik. He's going to get a courier. And the big nuisance this game is, how do they catch him?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There's not a lot of ways to catch this Rubik with the stolen Sakuchi right now. He's gonna get the next wave too, because you know why not?
Yeah, you're really just looking for the blink to come out from Carlo, but Phase Boots is going to delay that. They haven't been able to get any kills recently as well, so it's slowing down his progression to that big item. And it is kind of an issue that we saw from TNC in Game 1, that they put a lot of emphasis on just Krish being that only person to start fights, and without the blink, it's going to be a similar case here in the second game.
If anything, you'd argue it's going to be harder, right? Because last game, at least, Krish had core farm priority. This time, Carlo, he's really the only way to start fights, and he's playing the POS 4 this time. It's just not the ideal position.
They see Bok alone. Xavius might be able to telekinesis him closer to the team. The rock's going to get dropped, however, from TNC, so they do have ways to be able to hit back, and it looks like they just want to get out. A nice call from Polaris is a bit too deep of an attempt, and they don't have their items just yet, with the BKB still not completed on Natsumi. I'll look to try and retreat away from the area, and they should be fast enough, although Bok is hunting with the potential for the solar bind. They've got the Weaver wrapping all the way on the backline as well, so TNC, really nice position coming up from Asta, is going to be able to block in force, but the threat of the static link is going to be enough to push Asta away from this attempt.
And while this is happening, Lelouch is like, I'm going to go take your tower.
Dire's middle tower has
Just
fallen.
seeing kind of the lack of stuns be a big issue for TNC. Weaver, so the Rubik is shoving the lanes. You mentioned Lelouch is doing a really good job just cutting the lanes as well. So it's a nice read from Polaris and what they're requiring to do in this game to kind of bring it back to an even slate.
Yeah, and they've very correctly identified that TNC don't have great ways to kill their heroes. Just abuse your mobility, abuse your wave clear. And they haven't gotten many kills, but they've pretty much entirely brought it back, though.
Lane? Should be alright. Yeah, it's scary.
A little closer than you might want.
Yeah, I wonder what they're thinking about in regards to the item build, because Coddle has an ATOS queued up at the moment. I wonder if another game he might be considering about if it would have been better to go down like an Orchid route to maybe help off with their kind of lack of control. Because we are seeing the Spirit Vessels not doing a lot.
Absolutely.
Mid lane, Natsumi and Lelouch. Onto Mavis. They're going to have Force nearby as well, so Krish might be in a bit of trouble. Force going to look to jump on forward. Carlo's going to hold him back with the Avalanche for the moment, so they're not getting too much damage out of the Marcy on the Timber Sword, but Force, he just turns to deal with the second support. An easy kill in, and now Asta's vulnerable to the burst, but gets the Sakuchi down to the south. See if they can turn it around, though, on TNC. Don't have the ultimates or the health pool. Asta playing with fire. The strength tread's enough to keep him alive for the moment. And Krish senses an opportunity to be able to pounce on forward, getting rid of Xavius. Meanwhile, they do have a couple of supports expending their lives throughout that engagement.
A couple of supports and then Force, who it feels like he will quickly be becoming a support with how little farm he's getting on the map. But great fight from TNC. They just very properly fight around their Timbersaw, fight around their Coddle. And that is the one thing about this core Coddle that you can't forget about, is just how much sustain that Illuminate with the Spirit form provide.
And it's... maybe Lelouch can get up to the Coddle, but who else can really also jump Bok? You know, Natsumi might consider like a Blink Dagger as the game goes later. You're not going to have a Marcy who's incredibly farmed to feel comfortable with being able to jump to the backline as well. So it's not going to be an easy game to kill Bok.
No. And all of the
jump onto Mavis. Well, at least they're going to be able to find one kill onto the Warlock.
It does make you... understand Lelouch's item build though a little more, right? He's pretty much all of their setup on this Void Spirit. He goes for the Yules, so he can very aggressively set up on these supports or these cores. Force down bottom.
Oh, it's a big kill. A little bit of injection of gold into Carlo. They might not be able to catch up to him, and Force is actually going to look to turn it back around. Xavier shows up to the party with the Stolen Chakram. That's plenty of damage. And what's the call now from Polaris? She did bring multiple heroes down bottom. Do you feel like they could maybe shove this lane out and then look for a smoke play?
Potentially. The problem is, like you said, you don't have that unleash. So while he finished his BKB on Force, feels like you probably need his ulti to actually do enough damage to find kills.
Dire are scanning.
But I don't think Polaris are too upset with the map, right? They got a kill. But, okay, well, you know better than me. They're just going to smoke up here. Who are they looking for is the question.
And it's a hard kill onto Chris.
Timber does not feel like the primary target.
Scanning.
Not at all. It's definitely Warlock Coddle. Number one priority. Those heroes gotta die.
So this timing for Polaris is very scary. BKB on Natsumi, BKB on Marcy. Arcane Rune on Lelouch as well. So he's gonna have
lane,
a lot of
Natsumi.
spells.
Pops a BKB to actually get the kill onto Mavis. So
Mavis is just kind of dying for the team once again.
punch him
Happened a
bag.
lot last game. He's just the community punching bag.
Community punching back. Oh no. Hate to see it for poor old Mavis. They're setting up on both the side lanes. Radiant are trying to get some kills down bottom. Dire also setting up top as well, but it's going to be Radiant that jumps first. As Carlo, an easy kill. Force and Lelouch in combination together. Should be an easy kill. It's going to continue to slow down this blink timing. 2,000 gold. He's so goddamn close to this item, but...
Oh my gosh.
He's going to make him work for it at least.
This is a merry-go-round right now.
Dude, there's zero... Alright, they got the corridor to at least scout out if he goes for any crazy plays, and finally Lelouch gets him.
And they did finally track down AU as well. It was just the battle of the can't kill supports.
What is AU actually going on the Enchantress? Holy Locket, okay. Wasn't sure.
So yeah, he's finished up that Holy Locket. But, I mean, the Holy Locket's just not as effective this game already just because of the early Spirit Vessel from Bach. It definitely doesn't feel like AU is this unkillable monster that Enchantress is sometimes.
Yeah, especially not into the Timbersaw. I mean, this hero is just going to be ripping you apart. Top lane.
Ados.
Nice blink away.
He's so farmed on Xavius.
That's
He just has Aether Blink already at 21 minutes.
kind of the power of playing into the heroes that he is. Just so many great abilities to steal to help him shove side lanes and maybe even farm the jungle as well. Look at this one blast, double horsey action, and
He's
easily
hunting.
clears
He's
the
trying to
wave.
be
And alright,
aggressive.
Lelouch, they're able to run into the Coddle. This is a gigantic kill if they can bring down Bach. Maybe the damage is lacking to Lelouch. He's able to step back into the action. So they'll secure the kill to the Coddle, but the turnaround has arrived. Mavis dropping the rock, the control still proving to be an issue. They'll chase down Lelouch, but the rest of the party from Polaris have shown up. They're going to try and toss away Natsum, but he's locked onto his target already, as Carlo will not escape the aggression, but they still might not have the answers to Krish and Asta. A time lapse down to the south. Asta's going to be protected for the moment, freshening up a little bit in
Vessel
regard to the
is dead,
resources.
There's a heal in 2 seconds on AU.
And they get force as well.
Alright, well. Another great fight for TNC. He didn't have the Eye of the Storm on Natsumi for that fight. So while they got the Coddle jump, there's just not quite enough damage coming out from this Razor to effectively kill TNC's lineup at this point.
Natsumi, he's in big trouble here on the Razor. BKB's still on cooldown for 45 seconds. Natsumi, can you turn this? They're coming down bottom.
Dire's courier has been
Lelouch
killed.
gets a courier.
Kills the courier.
Yeah, so that was a fight where you see Lelouch was super close to the Scepter. You also had the Razor that was really close to Refresher as well. So Polaris just not taking the team fight with these big items. They will catch out Carlo in the river though. So a bit of a freebie for Polaris. But we're seeing that TNC still having a pretty solid game. Asta, again, he's getting a lot of farm here on the Carrier Weaver. 2, 1, and 5. He's got this Lincoln's completed now to be able to protect him. Krish is also doing a ridiculous amount of damage on the Timber. So are you feeling like TNC are really happy with the status quo of this second game?
Yeah, I feel like the Timber and the Weaver feel nearly unkillable with the Lincolns and the BKBs respectively. The BKB promptly used by Krish. I don't think that was what he wanted to be doing with it.
Looks like that was where his soul ring was. He instantly swapped the soul ring to where the BKB was when he used it.
I do that so many times. You're using an item slot like instinctively all game, and then you swap it, and you immediately fat finger the wrong one.
That's a classic.
And you're like, why? Why did I change this slot?
Yeah. It's a big fight. Big timing here for Polaris with their ultimates. They're going to be able to catch out Xavius before he connects to the team. It's a lot of their damage. Carlo, really nicely done. They wasted the static link on Natsumi. He's still going to look to charge on forward, playing with the refresher. Natsumi doesn't have a lot of mana here for the second round of the Ice Storm if required, and they're just going to be forced to get out. In fact, Krish can charge on forward for Lelouch. Doesn't have any ultimate charges to be playing with. Going to be reliant on the Aether Remnant to get a little bit of distance away. And ulti up in a couple of seconds. He might be able to get the TP out if he gets some distance. But TNC will find him in the tree line before that is an opportunity.
This Weaver and Timbersaw are just such big nuisances for Polaris. They don't have a way to lock them down, nor do they have a way to kill them. These defensive items bought up here from the TNC cores.
Dude, what is going on?
He popped his BKB again.
He swapped it again. He's like, all right, that slot's not going to work for me either.
Oh no, Krish. But that will be Aegis to the Weaver. And Asta was already pretty much unkillable in these fights without this Aegis. He can be so aggressive now on the map. And, well, speaking of aggression,
I think we just see, again, that's a fight. You're not playing with the Aghanim Scepter on the Void Spirit. Natsumi didn't have double Eye of the Storm for that fight. I think it was on cooldown prior when he used the refresher. And the initial static link on Carlo, they're able to break it. And that's really important. You need to be able to soak as much damage as possible. Eraser is a hero that just takes one hero completely out of the fight. And if you're able to destroy the static link, then it gets rid of kind of that potential to get that instant kill. So I'm going to need to see Polaris be a little bit more clean in these engagements. They're going to make the attempt to get rid of the first life here on Asta, and they won't be able to do so. Let's see if they can set themselves up for round 2. Mavis has got the rock ready to rock and roll with. There we go. Golem's going to be dropped. A more defensive use just to hold Polaris back at the moment. This is a big win for Radiant.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
looks like they might want to go back in. They have 2 more jumps on Lelouch, and he has 2 resonant pulses soon.
Tower is under attack.
No rock either.
They're gonna smoke. Be baiting Natsumi in case they're still playing around bottom. They're gonna run all the way around though. Krish is in the river.
No, Weaver's not here though. Asta is TP'd out.
Lelouch, he gets a jump. BKB is a potential for Krish, but they will not force it.
He's like, never mind. That's not the hero we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said it. A great fight there for Polaris. They get the Aegis and get out scot-free. And this Ags reveal is super tough.
Asta?
So I say that, but his BKB's in his
He's running underneath the vision. Oh, just gets the BKB inside the inventory. He's going to look to turn around now. Maybe Polaris have jumped too far inside the territory. Natsumi soaking away all the damage on Asta, so we won't really be able to take this engagement. They'll turn to Carlo as well. The Tiny is going to be killed off before any abilities have been able to spellcast. And now look at Natsumi, man. Just tearing apart the numbers on TNC. It's got a turn to try and catch up the Krish, but the Timber will just make it away. And look at this now, TNC buying back on Carlo, but the catch-up is not there.
So that was so scary there for Asta. His BKB was in his backpack. It was actually on cooldown from the backpack. He almost didn't get it off in time. Oh. But still, another great fight for Polaris. And you can really see the mobility advantage that we talked about in some of these fights. The multiple rebounds from the Marcy, the stolen Sakuchis, and then just the raw movement speed from the Razor.
What have we?
They're kind of just running TNC in circles and killing the supports at the start of every fight.
Yeah, because it feels like you're only playing with the Rock and Tiny's combo. If you're unable to kind of get a kill with these abilities, then like you said, Polaris have free reign of the fight to just be able to play incredibly mobile.
Yeah, I feel like Asta, I want to see him go Gleipnir. I feel like that would help a lot of their issues in this game. He's going to queue up the Scotty for now, but it really just feels like they're suffering from lack of lockdown in some of these engagements.
I guess. Yeah, it's like what item? Because I can see the value out of the Scotty this game as well. You're going up against the Razor Core, really nice to be able to kite him through BKB. Yeah. The stats are really nice as well for a Weaver who can have some difficulty of being blown up through a combination.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's just
Force.
A me watching the game.
A bit of trouble.
BKB.
He's going to be in a position where he has to utilize it defensively. He's got no one to rebound to. Oh,
nice.
Whoa.
Small update, by the way. The Xavius on the Rubik is officially higher net worth than Force on the Marcy.
Oh, so, boy. I just got a Scepter.
Just in case we were wondering. Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
Guys, kick your farm. 2, 5, and 9. 126 last hits. Are they going to get AU? Yes, they will. He's got more last hits than the Marcy, and just under 30 behind as well onto the Void Spirit as well. So, yeah, the Rubik could prove to be a bit of an issue. But it's just a question, can he freely spellcast from Xavius in these fights?
Yeah, and that is part of why I kind of wanted to see the Gleipnir, is because this Rubik with the stolen Sakuchi is being such a nuisance. And now he can keep Sakuchi and steal another spell on top of it. And it would just give them a way to reliably pierce that invis and kill off the Rubik. But like you mentioned, the Scotty value is obviously very nice against the ranged core of the Razor.
This is big for TNC. This ward by the T2 tower mid was able to scout out the smoke. They're going to be
counter smoke, and it's full AC done on the Razor as well for this engagement.
No Enchantress.
Yeah, AU has decided to not participate. He's just going to ignore everything that's going on.
Asta.
Get his farm on down there.
Able to go on opposite sides. I see Force. He's on the high ground. Oh, that's not where you want to be. Force, that's not a position you want to be playing with. A BKB. Somehow Krish is stuck here as well. Force going to look to TP up, but the Rock's going to be able to cancel that. All eyes now to Natsumi to turn this fight around for Polaris. But a BKB, he didn't use it to TP up. But they don't have stuns with Tiny dead and the Rock on cooldown. He recognized he didn't need the magic immunity to escape.
Crazy blink from Force. He just blinks onto the high ground. And he didn't have a rebound target. So he was unable to get off the high ground. He tries to TP, but a great rock from Mavis prevents the TP.
Now Natsumi, they get the long remnant drag back. Natsumi really doesn't want to use a BKB like this, especially without the refresher. Could give an opportunity for TNC to consider high ground.
Such great patience, just holding that BKB. But it's getting tough for Polaris. It just feels like they're running low on damage in all of these engagements. They need some sort of crazy steals, I feel like, from Xavius to actually start doing enough damage in these engagements.
You see kind of the control issues from TNC is soon to be addressed. Krish is going for a Hex as his next item. So this is going to give them another way to be able to start the fights onto heroes that really you want to burst out before the Razor gets a BKB, before the Void Spirit's being able to play with his mobility.
Not just Krish, but Bach also eyeing up that scythe device as well. So just they definitely know they're lacking in lockdown. Although I say that Bach changes it to an E-Blade, so never
More
mind.
damage.
Yeah, who needs stuns when you can just do more damage, right?
Just blow up heroes. Damage is more fun as well. No one, your E-Blade looks nice when you get the combo out.
You've clearly never played Shadow Shaman with Octarine in an arcane.
Are scanning.
A lot of control.
It shows. Let me tell you. I can tell.
Asta, really aggressive position, but it's got the BKB
he's
to play
axed.
with and the jump in as well. Natsumi's gone. Not an opportunity with a Hex reveal coming out from Krish and the rest of Polaris. They just got to get out, cut their losses as best as they can. It will be 2 down, but in the end, what a timing for them to jump in with Krish on this Hex.
Such a great reveal on that site device. They smoke into their aggressive, I guess it's a defensive ward, on their high ground here, and they find the best possible target with it, taking down that Razor, and he doesn't have buyback.
Looking like they might lose Force as well. It's in a bit of trouble here. Rebound, it's on cooldown. This is going to be another freebie. Just bleeding kills a Polaris.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Tower is under attack.
And now the tier 3s are under assault. What does Polaris have to
Radiant's
stop
middle
this?
tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks
I think
are
you just
under
look to
attack.
give it up. Krish is going to try and get another plus bomb with Carla. Win the damage. Lelouch just gets the dissimulate off. They're going to guess on the direction it goes with the dissimulate. And, well, Krish, he'll catch him on afterwards in front of the fountain. It's TNC. They can now go back to get the objectives.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
They get the barracks, they get the Void Spirit kill, and now they can just collect their rewards in the Roshan pit as well. Now it's a 15k gold lead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Such a
Radiant's top
drastic
tower
change from
has
game
fallen.
1. They look like a different team. Asta on this Weaver, I believe, still 100%
Asta?
win rate in the.
They got to go through the Lincolns. They're able to pop it. The damage is not enough. As soon as the rock comes out, the counter initiation is perfect to hold them back. But
Asta
playing with fire, man. Time-lapse being on cooldown.
Oh, he
Force
got
gets a
it.
drag back to Force Love. He needs some damage and it gets it. Force secures the kill. It might come at a cost. Gets a long distance out of the rebound. Meanwhile, Carlo also will TP out. Roshan is up on Polaris. If they can get the lanes out, then they might be able to get Roche.
You have to be so careful of the Marcy still. He doesn't have that much farm as the core, but level 3 Unleash, 5 hits. It's just so much damage with that sidekick damage. And right as I was singing Asta's praises, he just dies. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my fault.
It's a classic curse. It's a classic one.
Oh. I'm a menace to society.
Can they stop them from roshing? Natsumi no BKB. So that's going to be a big issue here. There is a potential to blow up the Razor.
Oh, this is really scary for Polaris. No BKBs.
Well, they're going to look to fight
Maybe they just
instead.
want-
It's going to scout
maybe
out
they just choose to
instantly.
fight.
Natsumi charging towards the backline. He's going to be cautious though. The toss into the air is okay for the moment. The Glimmer can protect him. They're going to turn to deal with Lelouch instead. And yours at the last second. Lelouch, he just gets out. Meanwhile, Krish though.
Krish!
They turn it back around. Timber's gone. Aster is up in 20 seconds. Timber's going to buy back as well. Carlo with the jump in. What a combo. Gets the avalanche, but also Polaris.
Wait,
They're looking to
Krish?
hit back. Krish is in trouble for the moment. Timber chains not getting enough distance away. Krish, it's going to be a dieback. What is going on? TNC, they're throwing the lead.
Krish, what are you doing?
Wait,
He bought back no BKB.
Wait,
He was
I-
on CD from using it.
wait, as the time lapse under the wall. What?
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait.
He respawned, time lapse, went to the triangle, then had to TP out because they were starting to run to him because I saw him on the high ground. What is going
What
on?
on earth is? It looked like TNC had it in the bag. But it's just such great awareness from Polaris. They know there's no Reaver. They kill the Timbersaw. He comes back. And just the smallest overstep there from Krish, and it's a dieback. And now you're at 70 seconds without your Timbersaw.
Block with the Hex. Carlo's going to be in as well. Xavier, he should be able to protect him for the moment. They got to be so cautious, man, because Lelouch wants to pounce. They overplayed their hand. And they should be able to penalize Carlo. Really nice reposition. The 4-staff gets Carlo out of harm's way.
What has this game devolved into? My word.
Healing power.
Get the ward. Here we go.
And they will now pressure the Roshan. Still 40 seconds without Krish. And it does feel like if they don't have that Timber, they don't have enough damage on TNC anymore. They need Krish to be alive in these fights.
I don't know if they can commit. The poke from afar is a bit annoying.
They're gonna they have double BKB back up on Natsumi. These freaking Coddle Blast, man.
It's a bit down for 15.
But they're gonna smoke her. They're gonna smoke around.
Asta. Not like this. Maybe this is a big kill if they can get the Warlock. Really good free positioning again. Oh, that is beautiful, TNC. What a counter escape.
I think Force disposed Lelouch. I think he misclicked his misclicked the Razor there.
At the high ground. Asta's gonna charge in. Lincoln's popped on the static link for the moment. He's in trouble for the moment. They're gonna blow him up. A buyback's available for Natsumi. He's going to look to rejoin. Meanwhile, down to the south, they're controlling Lelouch for the moment. The Simulate's going to be up in a couple of seconds. Where's the Hex to hold him in place? They don't have this capability now with Natsumi back alive. Trying to charge in, dealing as much damage as he possibly can. They're going to turn towards the Cotter, but again, the 4-staffs, they don't have an answer to this. And Krish, he wants to jump into the middle, targeting down Lelouch. He's run straight to Natsumi. They need to respect the Razor. The damage, it's starting to stack up. Krish is in trouble once again. They're going to toss him to the top side, but Krish is okay. Just escapes on the Timbersaw, but the rest of TNC, they're on the prowl. They're looking to catch up, but they will not run into the river.
These 4-staffs from TNC are
Lelouch.
so clutch, but tiny. Oh. Everybody's getting so low in these fights. Xavius, he's actually out of mana, of all things, so he's going to have to go back to base.
Carlo?
But TNC are the winners of this so far. They got the buyback out of Razor and out of the Marcy. And now Polaris, they're going to have to try and fight without their BKBs.
I don't think they can. I think we're just going to see Razor get blown up again. I really would like to see TNC actually smoke.
I don't. Both teams just use like 3 smokes, I feel like, in the span of 20 seconds, but they do have one more.
Roche is falling as well. You got to make a call pretty soon on Polaris. What's the play?
The Hex.
I'm going to jump in. The burst
The Hex,
potential.
second
Is it going to be enough? Lelouch makes it away. They're going to turn to try and get rid of Carlo. Let's secure the first blood throughout the team fight. They're going to be cautious though, because Natsumi's in trouble. Asta, he's locked onto his target. They need a way to be able to hold back the Weaver, giving an opportunity for Natsumi to get the magic immunity off, but they're going to continue to chase him down afterwards. That's a dieback on the carry on Polaris, and it's going to be up to the rest of the components on them, the Radiant lineups, to hold this game 2 back, and maybe that can be on Lelouch. He's holding the weight on the team. Lelouch killing off the Timbersaw, still going to be in some trouble for the moment. Doesn't have any ultimate charge, and the Hex again. Lelouch, oh my god. He's got the yours telekinesis used defensively. Asa is going up the higher gun, needs the last finishing blow. Can he get Lelouch? This guy, they can't even catch him. Oh my lord, he makes it away, but AU will not be so fortunate.
Wounded to my heart.
Oh, Asta is out for blood. He just wanted the goddamn Void Spirit, but he couldn't get him. So that gives Polaris at least one more chance, most likely. But 60 seconds still. No Razor, no Marcy, and you still have the Aegis on Asta.
Radiant's top tower is under
Catapult
attack.
wave 2, love to see it. No shenanigans gonna come out here for Polaris. This will be another full set of barracks soon to be claimed.
stolen
Radiant's top tower has
Illuminate
fallen.
from Xavius. Very annoying. It's actually because he
Radiant's
has
top
the
barracks are under attack.
it gives him the spirit version.
Ooh, but the Avalanche stolen. The chain control and the burst, not enough in our Rubik. Ooh, playing with fire, they still get the ATOS. Uh-oh,
Radiant's
Xavius.
top barracks has fallen.
They're just trying to buy as much time as they can.
Radiant's
for
top
these
barracks
last
are under
racks.
attack.
20
Radiant's top
seconds.
barracks has fallen.
What have we here?
And they still have 3 minutes on the Aegis. How do you kill Asta twice at this point? I feel like I keep asking that and they keep finding ways. So maybe they can come up with another.
Maybe it's every time you ask that question, they find a way.
They just by the grace of Gaben.
Look at
We'll
this.
smoke again.
Oh, Lelouch. My god, so scary to see them go outside the base into these hexes. They've been so on point. TNC, it's such a... The itemization from them. You know, we were mentioning kind of the lack of control. We saw them go into the hex onto the Timber, then the Cotter went down that route. The 4-staffs as well has just been exceptional. I really think the 4-staffs are kind of the main reason why they're in this position.
Yeah, and the decision for Bach to go back for that.
Xavius, you need every
site.
single hero to be able to defend the base. He's got a buyback at least to be able to play with. AU, he's going to be in some trouble as well. He doesn't have a buyback. Lelouch, going to try and force some reactions.
There's the buyback.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But how did they stop their buildings from dying? This Weaver with the
Radiant's
triple
bottom
Geminate
tower
attack
has
just
fallen.
shreds them.
Crush is in. They know the Rubik just brought back. It's a pretty big kill if they're going to be able to find it. Meanwhile, to the
Got
backline
Harlow.
though, Void Spirit playing with fire, trying to deal with the Warlock, cancelling out the ultimate, but Mavis gets it down before he's killed off, and now with the Death Column as well, it's not enough to hold Lelouch back. So they won't be able to reset
Mavis is
inside the
back.
base.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant structures.
Davis is
are
back. He has
fortified.
the TPs to the outpost, so 4v4 again. And the stolen Chakram for Xavius with the Illuminate is very annoying.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
Natsumi tries to deny his barracks.
Radiant's
Gonna be Megas, it looks like. Don't have a way to answer. Asta's like, alright, up a BKB, look to scurry away. Gives Force a tip for good measure as well. Salt in the wounds, and TNC, a 23,000 net worth lead. Gaben says it's a 0% chance that Polaris come back from the Mega Creeps.
And it is certainly feeling that way, as it seems like Polaris have kind of run out of gas in the damage department. They just don't have a way to kill Asta anymore. He finishes up that Gleipnir. Aegis will come out. What do you buy as your last item? Just Aeon Disc? Just so you don't die?
It looks like
Looks
that
like
is
that's
the
what
call.
he's thinking.
Invisibility.
They do have ways to kind of poke the Aeon though, with the burst, kind of the chip and spam from afar. Can they deal with Megas? I don't know. I'm really
On
intrigued.
Polaris?
Yeah.
I think they can just because of the spells Xavius has right now.
Okay.
He does have the Chakram and Illuminate, two of the better wave clear abilities. As you can see. Pretty much can kill the entire Mega Creep wave by himself. But that's just one lane. They're in through top now.
He's got a goddamn E-blade on the Rubik. Oh my. That's just gonna deal with the buffer buildings just to make sure when those Mega Creeps do get inside the base, it's gonna be difficult for them to deal with. At least get rid of the ward as well. See what the call is going to be from TNC. It's Natsumi the target you want to try and bring down. Of course, Asta's going to be the one to poke and force some reactions out.
So TNC, they just have to find one more fight pretty much to seal this, as they could wait for Roche if they really want to. They do have a 23k gold lead, and it is lose and you go home for TNC, so maybe they opt to be a little safe.
Natsumi is incredibly far outside the base. Incredibly far out. Natsumi, look at the defensive capability. They're going to be able to get him away. Meanwhile, Carlo tosses the Rubik inside. They get the double rock ultimate. Force is going to try and get some revenge onto the Tiny. They don't have the damage though. Carlo's able to reposition. Force is in trouble for the moment. A blink is going to be stopped in its tracks. They don't have the buybacks. And Natsumi doesn't have the control as well. He's trying to play around with the static link. Gets another BKB up, but it will not matter. Asta, he wants a high five. Instead, he's going to get a kill for good measure. And the game 2 victories. We are going the distance here. And look at Bok. I mean, some old teammates Bok is playing against. And he's, he's getting the last laugh in this second game.
It's always satisfying to beat your old teammates. And he's probably feeling real good about this game. He played a huge part on this offlane coddle